Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television, your one-stop morning show for top stories from India and across the globe. I'm AISHWARYA and here are the headlines. Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill and National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 passed by the Rajya Sabha on Thursday. Further discussion on Rafale jet deal slated in the Lok Sabha. Parliamentary panel urges government to set up committee to look into issues concerning accountability of the RBI as a regulator, asks central bank to ease capital adequacy norms for banks in its report. Prime Minister to inaugurate 8 projects and lay foundation stone for 4 others during visit to Manipur today to address a rally near Silchar in Assam in the Lok Sabha elections campaign year. Supreme Court to hear petitions in Ayodhya title dispute case. Decision on constituting 3-judge bench for hearing appeals filed against 2010 Allahabad High Court judgment and date of hearing likely. And Cheteshwar Pujara nears a double turn on day 2 of the 4th and final test against Australia at Sydney. India 395 with 5 wickets in hand. First up, news on winter session of Parliament, and after a productive day on Thursday in the Rajya Sabha, today is the day for the private members' legislative business in both houses. In the Rajya Sabha, there will be further discussion on private members' resolutions moved by the members. 6 members have moved private members' resolutions over multiple issues. And in the Lok Sabha too, there is private members' legislative business listed. Apart from that, in the government's agenda for the day are the Companies Amendment Bill 2018 and the Aadhaar and Other Laws Amendment Bill 2018, the New Delhi International Arbitration Centre Bill 2018, the Personal Laws Amendment Bill 2018, the Dentists Amendment Bill 2017 and the National Medical Commission Bill 2017. And also the Lok Sabha is slated to take up further discussion on the Rafale jet deal issue. The discussion is slated under Rule 193 in the lower house. The discussion could not be taken up on Thursday due to continuous disruptions. The issue was raised by Congress's Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday. Members of several parties participated in the discussion. The Congress has been demanding a JPC on the deal. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley also took part in the debate on Wednesday, rejecting the demand for a JPC probe. Well, our colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Vijay Chowk. A very good morning, Kriti. Well, after a productive day in the Rajya Sabha that we saw yesterday, today is the day for the private members' bill in both the houses. What can we expect to happen in the Rajya Sabha today?
Well, Aishwarya, yesterday after Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu appealed to the members to engage in a meaningful debate and dialogue, we saw that there was a fairly productive session of the Rajya Sabha. We saw that all the zero-hour submissions, all these special mentions and all these start questions were taken up during question hour. Even after that, the House took in the second half the statutory resolution on Jammu and Kashmir. Thereafter, the House also passed 2 crucial bills.
Yes.
Now, today, as you've mentioned, that it is a day for transaction of private members' business, so important resolutions are expected to be moved. Now, Trichy Siva will move a resolution for welfare of widows. Manoj Jha will move a resolution to prevent cases of manual scavenging. And also, Amar Shankar Sable will move a resolution to get a policy or to frame a policy to regularize or to control the unauthorized colonies. So there are important resolutions that are expected to be taken up in both houses of parliament because it is Friday and it is day of private members' business. But as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, there are important items of government on the agenda. For instance, there is the Dentist Amendment Bill, the National Medical Commission Bill, the Aadhaar and Other Laws Amendment Bill that are expected to be taken up in the lower house. Aishwarya?
And Kriti, as far as the anti-triple talaq bill is concerned, so far there has been no consensus between the opposition and the treasury benches as far as passing this bill is concerned. Next week, when the House meets, can we expect some sort of resolution, some sort of consensus so that the bill is passed in the winter session itself?
Well, Aishwarya, the government is trying to get all the political parties on concurrence on this particular bill. But remember, the opposition has said that it is not against the bill, but against the penal provision of the bill, because the opposition says that what happens to the woman once her husband is imprisoned in case of instant triple talaq. But the government has made it absolutely clear that this bill is for justice and equality of Muslim women, and the bill also seeks to create a very strong deterrent against the instances of triple talaq. So the government is trying to speak to all the political parties and get them on board. But remember, Aishwarya, an ordinance was issued to ban the practice of instant triple talaq.
Yes.
The ordinance has a life of 6 months.
Yes.
And when the House is in session, this ordinance has to be replaced by a bill which is passed by both Houses of Parliament within 6 weeks. And if this does not happen, the government always has an option of re-promulgating the ordinance. So it remains to be seen what is the fate of this crucial pro-women bill. Aishwarya?
Right, Kriti. Thank you so much for all those updates there on Parliament's winter session. And Rajya Sabha had an extremely productive sitting on the pre-lunch session on Thursday for the first time in this winter session after Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu urged the members to engage in meaningful debate and dialogue. Chairman Naidu disclosed that he personally spoke to the leaders of the parties and agitating members on more than 10 occasions to restore normalcy in the House. Here are all the details.
As soon as the House met for the day, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu urged members to ensure the House functioned in a meaningful manner for the rest of the session. He stressed that repeated disruptions do not send a positive message to the people of the country. The chairman also expressed sadness over Wednesday's order when AIADMK members were suspended for the day.
I appeal to every one of you, please cooperate. And yesterday what happened, I feel very sad that once the chair says something, it should be followed by members. There is no way. And if members are saying, no, we don't follow, then how do we expect the House to function?
Chairman Naidu said that he made repeated efforts to ensure that proceedings of the House were not stalled. He also refuted claims that the chair was not doing enough for the smooth conduct of the proceedings.
People are saying, one section is saying, why you are not taking action? Why you are silent? And some people have gone to the extent of saying, giving interviews. The chairman is not doing anything. For the information of this House, August House, I would like to tell, I have spoken to those members who are agitated more than 10 times. I want to put it on record for the country and also for the Parliament to know. More than 10 times, it may be much more also. Then I have called some of them individually. Normally that's not done. We talk to the leaders. Call them individually, talk to them. Then I have talked to the other opposition leaders also during the course of the morning meetings and also subsequently. Leader of the House also had a meeting earlier on this subject. Then yesterday, because there was a suggestion that if the minister comes and clarifies the situation, issue will be resolved. Minister was there somewhere in a conference. I summoned him and he came to make a statement. That was objected to. Okay, that can be one view.
As the session progressed, all zero-hour submissions, questions and special mentions were taken up, resulting in a productive day. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha Television.
And Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu praised the members of the upper house on Thursday for completing all business listed on the agenda of the question hour and zero hour for the first time in the current winter session. The members also expressed gratitude to the chairman.
They happy for a small thing that the questions are all completed today. I compliment all the members. 0 hour also and special mention. 0 hour special mention questions also. Compliments to the members.
And the Rajya Sabha also passed the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2019. The bill does away with a no detention policy till class 8 by enabling state governments to allow students, in fact schools, to fail students. The Rajya Sabha passed the bill by a voice vote. However, the left party staged a walkout opposing the bill. The bill was passed by the lower house on 18th of July last year. Now, replying to the discussion on the bill, Union Human Resource Development Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the amendment to the bill was brought in since 25 states were demanding the right to change the no detention policy. Javadekar assured the House that the passage of this bill will not lead to increase in the dropout rates in the schools.
कि सभी लोग जब शिक्षा की चर्चा करते हैं तो रोज एक बताते हैं कि 5वीं के छात्र को तीसरी का गणित नहीं आता, 8वीं के छात्र को 6ठी का पाठ पढ़ने नहीं आता। अगर ये लर्निंग आउटकम्स है तो ये क्यों है, इसका अध्ययन हुआ। और सभी राज्यों के शिक्षा मंत्री बैठे, 2 दिन बैठे और 25 राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्रियों ने के मैसेज लेकर आए थे। शिक्षा मंत्री सभी पार्टी के थे और केब मीटिंग में सबने कहा कि हमें ये बदलाव चाहिए और इससे हमें परमिशन चाहिए। 4 राज्यों ने कहा कि नहीं, वी आर ओके विथ नो डिटेंशन। तो मैंने ये उपाय किया कि भाई ये राज्यों पर हम छोड़ेंगे। सो दिस बिल इज नथिंग बट टू गिव स्टेट्स पावर।
कम से कम पढ़ने लायक शिक्षा और साक्षर होना बहुत जरूरी है। मैं इस बिल का पूरी तरह से समर्थन करती हूं और मंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देती हूं कि उन्होंने इतना अच्छा बिल लाया। आदिवासी स्कूलों में बच्चे ठीक है पढ़ाई में 8वीं तक पास हो जाते हैं, लेकिन और भी विविध कला होती है, चाहे वो तीरंदाजी हो, उसमें आदिवासी बच्चे देश में भी नाम रोशन करते हैं, अन्य प्रतिभा को भी बढ़ने का अवसर मिलता है। मैं इस बिल के समर्थन के साथ धन्यवाद देती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
And the Rajya Sabha on Thursday passed the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018. The bill has already been passed by Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to grant retrospective recognition to central and state institutions which had conducted teacher education courses without the approval by the council. The bill secures the future of thousands of students having degrees from such institutions. Human Resource Development Minister Prakash Javadekar said that 23 state and central universities and colleges offering B.Ed courses were not found to be recognized by the council. The minister said that the government is making efforts to reform the teacher education system in the country.
Who have an MPhil, those who have a PhD, who are trying to come and now teach in a school, won't be able to because they have to go through 2-3 years of teacher training certification. Well, the basic point is that some kind of a bridge course needs to be provided for these people who otherwise have training, very, very advanced training. So that's again something that the NCTE can introduce going forward.
किसी भी जगह अगर जांच के लिए कोई टीम जा रही है तो वो एक ही टीम रहनी चाहिए और वो टीम वो समय पर जाए और वहां पर जो भी कमियां हो वो पूरी करने की कोशिश करे। इससे क्या है कि जो लोग वहां एडमिशन ले रहे हैं उनको भी ये डर ना लगे कि इन्हें मान्यता मिलेगी या ना मिलेगी, उन्हें नौकरी कहीं खतरे में ना लगे, इसलिए मैं इस बिल का समर्थन करती हूँ।
आज जो प्राइमरी के टीचर हैं, प्राथमिक विद्यालयों के टीचर हैं, उनको समय समय पर कभी जनगणना की ड्यूटी में लगाया जाता है, कभी किसी ड्यूटी में लगाया जाता है, क्योंकि प्राथमिक विद्यालयों में ज़्यादातर देश के गरीब लोगों के बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, एसटी और ओबीसी के, उनकी शिक्षा इससे प्रभाव होती है। तो इसलिए उन अध्यापकों की शिक्षा उनको बढ़ाया जाए और उनको उस काम में न लगाया जाए, सिर्फ पढ़ाई पे लगाया जाए।
इंटीग्रेटेड बीएड की कल्पना रखी है और उसकी तैयारी कर रहे हैं। इंटीग्रेटेड बीएड के आज जो कोर्सेज चल रहे हैं उसमें केवल हनुमंतैया जी थोड़े लोग हैं, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं कि इंटीग्रेटेड बीएड पूरा शुरू नहीं हुआ है। अब हम आगे से केवल इंटीग्रेटेड बीएड को ही मान्यता देंगे 2020 से लेकर, तो आगे सभी नेक्स्ट ईयर से एप्लीकेशन इसी साल मंगाएंगे।
And speaking in the Rajya Sabha during question hour, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that the Foreign Minister of France was extremely happy with the Supreme Court verdict on the Rafale deal. Refuting all the charges made by the Congress, she stressed that the use of the word controversy for the Rafale deal was uncalled for, claiming that the controversy existed only in the Congress's mind. Sushma Swaraj said that the Supreme Court has already vindicated the government's stand on the issue. Sushma Swaraj was responding to Congress member Anand Sharma's supplementary during question hour on the visit of Foreign Minister of France to India recently.
Is specific. It refers to the meeting between our Honourable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, and the then French President Hollande. Will the government make public the minutes of the meeting that were kept? Because there is a controversy, and that would settle it once for all, one way or the other.
Minister.
आनंद जी, कोई कंट्रोवर्सी है नहीं, केवल कंट्रोवर्सी आप लोगों के दिमाग में है। और मैं आपसे बताऊं, जितने भी कंट्रोवर्शियल इश्यूज आपने उठाए थे, वो सबका जवाब एक एक करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट, जो कि सर्वोच्च न्यायालय है हमारे देश का, हर एक का जवाब उन्होंने दे दिया। उसके बावजूद भी अगर आप कंट्रोवर्सी शब्द का इस्तेमाल करें तो मैं कहना चाहूंगी, सभापति जी, आप भी जानते हैं कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं है, पूरा देश जानता है कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं है। एक एक मुद्दे को उठाकर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने चीजें क्लियर कर दी, उसके बाद भी अगर इनके दिमाग में कंट्रोवर्सी बनी हुई है तो उसका कोई जवाब नहीं दे सकता।
And the Lok Sabha was adjourned for the day on Thursday as members of the AIADMK and the TDP continued to disrupt proceedings despite the Speaker suspending 21 more MPs for their unruly behaviour. With the House unable to transact business due to the protests by the two parties, Speaker Sumitra Mahajan ordered the suspension of 21 members, who included 13 TDP and 7 AIADMK MPs. The development came a day after 24 AIADMK members were suspended for the rest of the session for disrupting proceedings. The AIADMK has 37 members and the TDP 15 members in Lok Sabha. 2 questions were taken up during question hour amid the din. And the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance has asked the Reserve Bank to ease capital adequacy norms for banks. In the report of the committee tabled in Parliament on Thursday, it has also asked the RBI to review supervisory framework, prompt corrective action, and urged the government to set up a committee to look into issues concerning accountability of the central bank as a regulator. It has also asked the central bank to evaluate the efficacy of its own guidelines on dealing with frauds. Besides, the committee headed by veteran Congress leader M. Veerappa Moily also suggested increasing the retirement of age of chiefs of public sector banks to 70 years and effect proper manpower management and planning and HR development strategies in the public sector banks. Those were all the news related to winter session of Parliament. Let's get to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate 8 projects and lay the foundation stone for 4 other schemes during his visit to Manipur today. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the projects during a public rally near Imphal. The projects which the Prime Minister will inaugurate include the integrated checkpost in More of Thenupal district, Tolathiabi Barrage project of Imphal East District, the FCI food storage godown in Imphal East District and the buffer water reservoirs in Ukhrul District. The other projects are the improvement and upgradation of the water supply for the Churachandpur zone, ecotourism complex at Thangapat in Kangopi District, integrated tourist destination in Noni District and the water supply scheme at JNV, Lambui and its surrounding villages. Prime Minister Modi will lay the foundation stone for 4 projects. Security measures have been tightened in the entire state in the view of the Prime Minister's visit. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also scheduled to address a public rally near Silchar in Assam. The rally by the Prime Minister comes in the Lok Sabha election year. This would be his second visit to Assam in a span of just 10 days. The Prime Minister had inaugurated the country's longest rail-cum-road bridge, Bagibil Bridge, on Christmas. And addressing a rally in Punjab's Gurdaspur, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said that in efforts for the work for the welfare of the farmers, the NDA government has increased the minimum support price of around 12 crops. He said that his government has modified the agriculture export policy and the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana to benefit the farmers. He also criticized the Congress party for duping farmers in Punjab and other states in the name of farm loan waivers.
यहाँ पंजाब की स्थिति भी कुछ अलग नहीं है। यहाँ पर भी कांग्रेस कर्ज माफी का ऐलान करके वोट बटोर के ले गई, किसान के आंख में धूल झोंक करके खेल किया और सत्ता में आ गई।
And a two-judge Supreme Court bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi will hear a batch of petitions in the Ayodhya title suit matter to decide on when the hearing of the disputed land case will begin. The bench is likely to constitute a three-judge bench for hearing appeals challenging the 2010 Allahabad High Court verdict delivered in 4 civil suits that the 2.77-acre land be partitioned equally among the 3 parties, namely the Sunni Waqf Board, the Nirmohi Akhara and the Ram Lalla. On to some other news. In the aftermath of the US announcement to withdraw its troops from Afghanistan, NSA Ajit Doval and Afghanistan's NSA will review the future of the security scenario of war-ravaged country today. The meeting will take place today between the 2 national security advisors, and the 2 will discuss how to enhance military cooperation so that ongoing project that India is undertaking is secure and not affected due to the threat of militants in the country. India may think of providing essential military equipment to Afghanistan to enable Afghan troops who are engaged in security of the country at strategic locations and vulnerable points. India operates an embassy in Kabul and consulates in Kandahar, Jalalabad and Mazar-e-Sharif. India is involved in many development projects at this moment, like many dam, road and other infrastructure building as well. India is also involved in capacity building programs if the war-torn country is enable its people in education, skill and information technology, as well as military and diplomats training. India, however, had kept itself away from military combat role against Taliban or Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, as this role was played by the NATO forces. At least 100 people were injured in parts of Kerala in the statewide Hartal, which turned violent on Thursday. Kerala police arrested 745 people and put 628 people into preventive custody yesterday in connection with the day-long violence. The activists hurled crude bombs, stones and damaged more than 100 public buses, bringing traffic to a halt at several places. A man was seriously injured in stone pelting on Wednesday and he died due to head injuries. The dawn to dusk Hartal was called by the Sabrimala Karma Samiti to protest the entry of 2 women into the Sabrimala temple on Wednesday. The protesters also marched in New Delhi, chanting slogans against Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. News from the national capital now, where 7 people were killed after a portion of a building collapsed following an LPG cylinder blast in a building in West Delhi's Sudarshan Park. The building was a factory where work related to ceiling fans was being carried out. According to reports, around 15 people were rescued and shifted to the nearby hospital, out of which 7 people died and 4 people who were in critical condition were shifted to Safdarjung Hospital. Now, a case has been registered against the owner of the factory under relevant sections of the Indian Penal Code and the matter is being probed. Our top international focus now, more than 30 dead bodies have been recovered from the debris of an apartment block in Russia that partially collapsed in an apartment explosion this week. The fate of several other people is still unknown. Emergency workers have begun dismantling parts of the building to stop a further collapse of the structure, which poses a threat to the rescuers. The blast, initially thought to have been caused by a gas leak, damaged 48 apartments in a 10-story building in the industrial city of Magnitogorsk in the early hours on Monday, which is 1,700 kilometers east of Moscow. The reason behind the collapse of the apartment block is still being investigated. It said that no trace of explosive materials had been found so far on the site, and initial reports put a possible gas leak behind the collapse. And in sports, the fourth and final test between India and Australia is underway at Sydney, and resuming their overnight score of 303 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. India lost an early wicket on day 2 as Hanuma Vihari was caught on Nathan Lyon's delivery. Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant are still at the crease. Pujara is near to his double ton, while Pant is close to his half-century. India has so far scored 418 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Remember, India is leading the 4-match series 2-1 and will be looking to create history by winning the first ever test series on the Australian soil. And skipper Virat Kohli is also just a win away to put himself ahead of former skipper Sourav Ganguly's record of 11 overseas test wins. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.